Welcome to Eyes and Teeth. Today I'll be talking to Maddi Cryer. I first worked with Maddi in 2012 in Eltham in London, and we have been Facebook friends ever since. We've not actually spoken until today, and I remember how gorgeous she was in person. Just one of those happy souls who is great to be around. Maddi has this aura about her that beams kindness and appreciation of life. Today we talk about her time working on TV with Little and Large, Billy Pearce, Bob Monkhouse on Opportunity Knocks, working in Broadmoor Prison with Tom O'Connor, and a special gala supporting Bob Hope with Joe Longthorne at the London Palladium, amongst so many other things. In 2020, Maddi collaborated with Valerie Avon for a charity single for the Chestnut Tree Hospice. The song is called We'll All Watch The Wizard of Oz. You can hear this and more on Eyes and Teeth. I really enjoyed talking with Maddi, and it's nice to know she's just up the coast in Worthing in Sussex. Welcome to Eyes and Teeth, the wonderful vocals of Maddi Cryer.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very good. It's lovely to speak to you. Now, we've only worked together once, and we'll get to that moment. It's lovely to see you work, and I'd heard your name for years, but we've not crossed paths. And you think, like doing, you know, the circuit of cruise ships or comedy clubs or theatre, that we would have crossed paths, but it's bound to happen at some point, isn't it? So it was nice to...
I'd heard a lot about you as well, but as you say, it's funny that we didn't meet until, well, it was 2012.
Was it that long?
Yeah.
It was. 8 years, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
9 years, nearly. So where's home for you, Maddi? Where was your childhood home, and where did you grow up?
Oh, well, I grew up in Bethnal Green as a young kid in the East End. Then I lived in Surrey for a while, and now I'm sort of near Worthing in Ferring. It's smashing. I love it here. It's great. It's right by the sea.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a really lovely community, you know. So, I think I'd like to stay here.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a lot, but I'd like to stay here.
Yes, I've worked Worthing. There's this club that I've done with a comedian called Tucker, and he's put me in the Last Resort. It's like a private members club. It always held a comedy night with about 3, maybe 4 comedy acts. And it's a little club on the seafront there at Worthing. I don't know if you know it.
Oh, really? No, I don't. That'd be nice to know, though. When we can actually go out and work again, won't it?
I know, yeah. Oh, that'd be nice to work on your doorstep as well. I'm in Eastbourne, so we're just along the coast from each other.
Oh, well, we could swim to each other, couldn't we, kid?
Yes. As when you're a young lady, where was that spark that got you into show business? Was you inspired by television or something you saw in a theatre?
I wanted to be an actress.
Okay.
But and I was a bit of a tomboy, and my mum wanted me to go to dancing lessons to sort of, make more of a lady of me.
Right.
So I went to somewhere called the Ivy Travers dancing school and singing. We did singing as well. And I remember it was a Wednesday and a Friday in Bethnal Green. Wednesday it was Labour Rooms, Friday Oxford House. And I used to have to go there. I was at school and I used to go straight from school there. I didn't want to go.
No.
I can't dance. She called me a fairy elephant, and I was quite tubby.
Well, that's a nice confidence boost, isn't it?
It is lovely, yeah.
Oh, dear.
My second name was Dearing. So, Dearing, where's the fairy elephant? Where she's gone? Because I used to hide in the other room with the Beano and a cheese roll.
That's my ideal afternoon. I do that now. Beano and a cheese roll, yeah.
Ivy used to put on all these. She must have had about 4 birthdays a year, and I think she was about 100 years old then. But Ivy Travers was absolutely fantastic. She could still do the splits, and she'd been a tiller girl and a dancer. And she used to wear a hairnet with all diamantes in it, I remember. But if the mums and dads paid extra, you could go out and have tap dancing lessons with Cyril. And I actually got on very well with Cyril, and I could tap dance, so that was quite nice.
Nice.
But sort of while I was there in the shows that Ivy would put on, she'd pair us up, and everyone would get a little moment, a little spot where you'd sing a song and do a tap dance, and that's how suddenly everybody said, "Oh, she can sing."
Right. Okay.
That's kind of how I got into the business, really, by starting to sing, and from then I sort of sneaked on to a little television talent show called Rising Stars.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
I've heard of Rising Stars, but it was like way before New Faces, wasn't it? Or was it around about?
Yeah, it was. It was one of the first ones. It was before Opportunity Knocks, even.
Wow.
Which I went on later. But yeah, my mum took me out for an audition to the BBC for that. You weren't actually supposed to go on it unless you were in equity, so I don't know how I slipped through the net there. But I just did an audition, didn't expect to get it. We went to the canteen afterwards at the BBC and sort of looking at everybody. Oh, look, there's Omar Sharif, and we were having a lovely time.
Wow.
And while we were sitting at a table, one of the producers came up and said, "We'd like you to be in the show." So it was really quite exciting at the time,
Lovely.
So it was my very first television. I remember I sang "Killing Me Softly," but unfortunately they made me walk down about 150 stairs.
The ideas these producers have,
Yeah, I'm not the most elegant of people, and it sort of put me off a little bit in my high heels, But,
oh no.
Do you remember Lenny Bennett?
Yes, I do. Yeah, Lucky Ladders.
He was
The judge,
the
was
content
it?
for it.
Oh, okay.
But that's really how I got started singing, and then did that, and then sort of went on from there. Really,
How long was it before? Was it Rise to the Stars, and in between then and Opportunity Knocks? How many years was that, or was it just the same year? Or
well, quite a few years really, because I auditioned for Valerie. Avon was putting together a 4-girl group called Cover Girls. I auditioned for that, and I was in a 4-girl group for 7 years.
Ah.
Yeah, we were like sort of the British answer to the Pointer Sisters type thing.
okay, fabulous.
She used to put groups together, like she put Stutz Bearcats together.
Yeah, I think I've worked with most of the Bearcats, but all separately over the years, because they all went their separate ways, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they split up, but they were very successful actually.
Yes.
Although Cover Girls did television and things, they had their own series for a while.
Did they? Wow.
Yeah, so she put Stutz Bearcats because she was doing the British version of Manhattan Transfer. So we were like the British version of Pointer Sisters.
Okay.
So yes, I was with them for 7 years, and like, as you say, groups split up and everything. But actually, we had a fourth member. Fourth space always used to leave. The fourth girl, there was one. We just couldn't get that one person to stay.
Right.
I think we had about 8 or 9 different cover girls come and go in
Really?
that spot.
That's strange.
Yeah, it wasn't easy because we had all different shapes and sizes in that spot. Of course, you're getting costumes made and everything.
Oh no.
And I think by the end of it, we were saying someone with a slightly shorter left arm, size 10 feet, we had to get them to fit the house.
That's a mismatch, isn't it? It's not easy to fill those shoes.
No, I know. The last girl was very tall. She had a very beautiful girl, actually. But she had very long feet. So that was always a problem. But anyway, we split up, and it was from then that Val, who's a songwriter, she had a lot of hit songs, and she was still writing, and I was doing demos for her, and that's when she'd say, "Oh, could you do this one a little bit? I don't know, Karen Carpenter, or I could see Diana Ross singing this," and I'd try and change my voice to go with the song.
Oh, okay.
And that's how I got into impressions, really.
Oh, is it? Really? Wow. So the mimicking and stuff, that kind of snuck in then at that moment.
Yeah, and I didn't do that early on at all, really. I was always in Cover Girls. I was the one who did the sort of comedy bits.
Yes.
And the bits that weren't supposed to be comedy as well, I did those when I get things wrong,
Lovely. So it seems to be a natural ability with a comedy. Could you say it kind of sort of snuck into the act? It was drawn to you, the comedy part.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've always sort of made jokes of everything, even at school.
Yeah.
It's just the way I've always been. But the impression thing came from singing on Val's songs,
Oh, lovely. The Cover Girls. Yeah. Did you work all the cabaret venues? Because there were so many at the time, wasn't there? The cabaret, like Lakeside and Stardust in Leicester. Where did you work as Cover Girls?
Oh, yeah, and it's sad. Well, Cover Girls sort of worked all over the place, all those venues, and then as Maddi Cryer, I worked at Lakeside, and was it Blazers as well?
Yes, Windsor.
Yeah, I remember the carpet there for some reason.
Oh, did it smell, or was it a sticky one?
It was quite heavily paisley pattern navy, I think. I don't know why, but that's just come into my head. But yeah, do you know, I feel sorry for people now because there really isn't places to work now. Even when without COVID, you know, there's not the places we had.
No, they haven't got any decent carpets anyway. I know that.
No, not decent carpets. No.
I love a good carpet.
Actually, I've got to get carpet for my bedroom. I'm decorating it, so I'll get that once COVID's gone. once lockdown's finished.
Yeah, but, I think we're all finding things to do, aren't we, in this time? So sort of painting. We can't paint anymore. There's nothing else we can do. A year's enough.
I know. Have you decorated your house then?
No, we're renting, so we're in a rental. We're not allowed to paint. I'd love to paint the place and change the kitchen, everything, but we were kind of in between houses. We left renting a house and we came into a flat, and then all this happened, and we were, you know, trying to get a mortgage and stuff last year, and so all that went out the window. They're not even our windows.
Talking about those venues and things, I mean, there were sort of definitely more clubs around then. I mean, when I first started as Maddi Cryer doing the impressions, I was booked into some places, some places you didn't really want to be booked into as well.
Oh.
Even Broadmoor Prison. I think my agent was really trying me out everywhere.
Wow, it's either Broadmoor Prison or Benidorm. I had the pleasure of doing Benidorm for 3 months.
Difference, is there, really?
No, there isn't. I think they ended up in Broadmoor, actually. My audience is in Benidorm. But so what was Broadmoor like? Because they're a captive audience, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. They couldn't get out. No. But I thought it was the Officers Club. You know, Val was with me. We drove up. I started unloading everything outside the Officers Club, which isn't in the prison. It's just outside. And the man came along and said, "Oh, love, you'll have to put all that back in because you're actually in there. You're in the prison." And I didn't think I would be at all. And it was quite scary. You know, you go in, you walk across a great big yard, from what I can remember, go through different doors. Finally, you get to a reception area, if you can call it that. And there's sort of like millions of keys on the wall, you know. And
wow.
Yeah, and we went through, and I was with Tom O'Connor.
Oh, Tom's wonderful. Yes.
He's smashing, Tom. So it was him and I, and you know, I was supporting him. But you know, even if you want to go to the loo, you had to have like a warden with you, take you to the loo, and stand outside, and then bring you back. Not that they were running freely around, but they wouldn't let you out of their sight, really.
Yeah, understandable. Know? Yeah.
And in those days, I used to do this act where I used to be standing off stage in a big, a yellow sou'wester, a fisherman's coat, with a yellow hat, slippers, yellow marigold gloves, and a parrot on my shoulder. Don't ask. And I used to sing off stage, and they'd make this announcement. I'd start singing "Sailing," you know, Rod Stewart sailing, in a folky voice from off stage, and they'd announce me as, "Would you please welcome Maddi Cryer, known as one of the best dressed female artists in the business." So of course, I'd come up with my flippers and my fisherman's coat and everything. And the minute I got on the stage, because I had Dame Edna glasses on underneath, I finished the song off as Dame Edna, which wasn't a pretty sound, you know, for me. And then I'd sort of mingle with the audience a little bit after I'd sung that, and just ad-lib with them, and you know, and then I think I used to finish up by saying, you know, I've heard all the men here are turned on with rubber, so I've got as much rubber on as I could find, you know. And then they'd play the stripper, and I'd do this striptease, you know, I'd sort of ping me marigolds and take the parrot off and throw it over my shoulder and rip the hat off and kick the flippers off and turn around and then pull this coat off, which was all velcroed, and I'd pull a dress down, turn around and go into Dinah Ross, dressed really nicely then.
Wow.
Well, of course I was ready to do that, and I didn't know it was Broadmoor. Number one, the stage at Broadmoor was like about a mile high to keep you away from the people, because it was the Ripper, one of the Crays.
Blimey.
I know, they get entertainment in these places.
I was just thinking, like, why did they deserve good entertainment, though, for being bad people? I don't understand that.
I know.
It's wonderful, really, that you've got this story to tell there. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was, but they said to me, I said, well, I'll put my coat on and then, rip it off and I go and speak to the audience. They said, well, not today, dear. They said, for a start, if you step off the audience, you'll kill yourself. And then, and you're not going to be able to speak to this lot. So, we worked to cassette tapes then, good old cassette tapes.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Val was working my music, so I said, you know what, you're going to have to forward right past Sailing, right past the stripper, to Diana Ross, and I'll just have to start as her and come on in me nice frock. Okay, cut, that's it, cut the beginning and just walk on to that. So it's Maddi Cryer, boom. She hits the cassette tape and you get da 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 da.
Oh,
she hasn't
no.
gone far and I walked onto the stripper at Broadmoor, and of course the place went wild.
Yeah, you needed a mini disc at this point, didn't you?
No, before then it was like, can you forward it? And it was all sounding like, blah, 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 as she was hitting the forward. I've never had such a good reaction, but of course, then when she stopped it, what did I go into? Touch Me in the Morning, Diana Ross. That was a hit.
Oh, that's genius.
I know, they told me in the end that they played that every Christmas.
They're probably still playing it for you as that memory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. What a memory. You reminded me of a joke I wrote last year, and it was, it's not all good news, is it? I said, my daughter's just announced that she's moving in with her boyfriend. He lives in Broadmoor. So, that's the line. There's an alternative punchline to it. It's my daughter's just announced she's moving in with her boyfriend. She's only 4. So I prefer the first one, obviously. But I can't believe he done that gig. How did Tom go? Do you remember? Tom O'Connor.
Oh, yeah. He went great. He did. He was on for ages. Yeah, right? I remember because we all had to leave together.
Yes.
And he just, because it was going down really well, and so he just,
stayed on.
Great value for money. He was brilliant. Lovely man as well.
Yeah, very topical.
And I just remember thinking, oh, come on, I want to go home.
Blimey, that's madness. So who was your management then that sent you to jail? What management were you with?
Oh, I think my agent was like, first of all, she was, what do you mean you're going to do impressions? Oh, well, all right then. She thought I would try her out and send her everywhere. I remember 50 quid a night it was, and you just went all over them. I think you spent that in petrol sometimes,
Yes, no, you do. Blimey.
Yeah, but it's experience, isn't it? That's the thing.
It is, yeah. Put you in at the deep end. Literally, the stage was that deep. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow, what a memory.
I know, but also, I was an impressionist and a singing impressionist mostly, and gradually getting little bits of comedy and talking impressions in there. I wasn't like a comedian as such, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And she used to, bless her, she put me in another place, late night comedian, I think it was Butlins,
Right.
I mean, late night comedian, they're expecting real sort of
filth,
risque.
aren't they? Yeah,
that's it, filth. and me coming on raindrops on roses, I went down a storm, I did.
Again, it's like sending me to Benidorm with my little puppet act, and I was on at midnight. Just looking back at it now, I was following 3 blue comedians. Then I would go on, do my hour of family ventriloquism, and then there'd be a male stripper on it, and and literally they take everything off, So maybe I should have changed my vocation then and done the male stripper and made loads of different things talk. But
I can't see Arthur Lager stripping, really. It's going to work, is it?
No, he needs an extra hand. But it's, we learn, don't we? I guess they send you these venues to learn your craft and that. And so...
Yeah.
So your management got you to television. So did you get to Opportunity Knocks through management? What year did you do Opportunity Knocks?
Oh, God. I can't remember the year. A long time ago. It would be late 80s, I suppose. I would think.
Was it Bob Monkhouse?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that. That's the one I started to watch because I was around 12 or something, 10 or 12, and I remember...
Oh, stop it.
Well, you were probably only 15, weren't you? So Bob, I remember Bob doing it, only Bob.
Yeah, it was a smash. I mean, unfortunately, when Bob did it, that was the time when even if you won it, which I didn't, I got in the final.
Yeah.
I think I came about 4th or something.
The same as me. Same as me, GT. Final. I came 4th. Yeah.
Bless you. Should have won it, I think. But there you go.
Well, so should you. So, but I mean, we do these things. It is the taking part, isn't it, Maddi?
Yeah, it is. But it's Bob was, he was terrific. Again, it was Val and Elaine that came with me. Elaine, my agent, Val, my manager, came with me to the audition, I remember. And I did my bit, and Bob was actually there in the audience, with the producers and that. And he actually came over and said, "You're going to be in it, we want you to be in it," which was really lovely.
That's nice.
I can remember the car journey home from that. I was like looking out the window going, "I'm going to be in an opportunity," people at the traffic lights. But it was fantastic, and he was just fantastic to me. He rang Val up one night and said, "Val, because I've won my heat," and he said, "The next thing she's going to be in, there's an opera singer. And they're going to go for the opera singer. I know they are. So we've got to see what's she going to do. Make sure, He was really rooting for me.
That's lovely. Great support.
So I remember because he said, "All right," he said to Val, "Jackie and I are going to have something to eat now. I think we're going to have lobster thermidor or something, And because he said, "To what you having?" She said, "Fish in the bag." but he was smashing. I mean, and after it all, I was at Lakeside with him actually, supporting him. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. What a fantastic man he was. Talented, and what a memory.
Yeah, definitely. I was watching his documentaries only this week, of Bob Monkhouse, and it's just such a wonderful, varied career, isn't it? And Mr. Game Show, but Mr. Stand Up, brilliant. And I've heard a lot of these stories about him being so good to people, young comics and entertainers. Yeah. It's lovely to hear that.
It really is. Yeah, he was ever so supportive, and I'm sure he meant it. I'm sure he did, but he would knock on the door. He didn't have to. Before he went on, after I'd come off, and say that bit at the end of Petula Clark. That just remember, he'd say, "The way you did this note, that was brilliant," and that means so much.
Yeah, you don't forget that.
Because we're all insecure. I don't know if you're like me, but half the time I think, what am I doing here, really?
Just like really, you, yeah.
We're all like that. I wish I believed in myself a bit more, But I'm better now, but I'm old now.
Experienced. Experience.
Like in the world, don't they?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I never forget those things people say, and I've been lucky to work with some greats as well, and yourself, and you were lovely. We only met once, and you were so lovely to me that gig. I'll never forget just how complimentary you were. So it really don't forget.
I meant it.
Oh, you're very sweet, but you just don't forget it, do you?
No, you don't. I mean, that was at the Bob Hope Theatre in Eltham.
Yes, yes.
With Paul Adams.
Such a great night. Really great night. You got to Who Do You Do as well. So the TV show Who Do You Do, which had so many great Impressionists on: Faith Brown, Paul Melba, Janet Brown, Roger Kitter, Peter Goodright, who we just sadly lost recently, and Little and Large, Freddie Starr. So who do you do? Dave Evans. I think Dave Evans. There was quite a lot of different series with different Impressionists, weren't there?
Yeah, ours was after that. It was like sort of the remake of it. I didn't get to work with any of those guys. I'm trying to think who I got to work with. Well, it was Hillary O'Neill.
Yes.
Caroline Bernstein. That was great. That was.
Do you remember who you played? Who did you do?
What did I do?
Yes.
I did a lot. I did Diana Ross. Did all the Lulu. Julie Andrews.
Amazing.
Midler.
So they gave you a chance to do all of your vocals in it, your singing vocals, and that's lovely.
I did talking ones as well.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bucket, the usuals.
BJ. Yeah.
People that trying to think who. Jennifer Saunders.
Oh, amazing.
Joanna Lumley. Lots of soap stars and things like that.
Yeah, but, brilliant.
It was a great camaraderie, though.
Yes.
It was
really
I bet
nice.
It
was.
Yeah, I do remember being in the green room and, seeing people doing their bit, filming their bit, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's great! Look at that! Look, that's good." It was nice. It was really nice.
And in '91, there's another show called You Gotta Be Joking, and I never saw this, but Shane Ritchie, Billy Pearce, Annette Law. There was only about 5 of you, wasn't there? And George.
Yeah, and George Marshall. That's
George
right.
Marshall,
I
yeah.
don't know what happened to George. I kept googling him because he was such a brilliant impressionist, George.
Yes.
You know, and I know Annette went back to Australia.
Oh, okay.
I think she's an accountant now. Could do with her.
We all can, yeah. Oh, it's been a mess, isn't it? Like, it's actually easier to do last year's books. That thing, Nina, my wife, she found it slightly easier to put everything into 0 with nothing going in.
No, that's true. That's very true. I know it's tough. And then could you got beautiful Billy Pearce.
Oh yeah.
And Shane Ritchie. Smashing.
Yeah. What happened to him? Yeah. So
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what Shane's doing. But I mean, me and Billy, we're fine.
Yeah. Oh, Billy, bless him. I spoke to Billy.
Didn't you?
Yes, a couple of months ago. He's wonderful. Just
he's a lovely guy.
So many great talents. So, got to be joking. It was a sketch show, wasn't it? Was it more sketches and?
It was, yeah. I mean, I funnily enough, the producer was Bill Wilson, and I'd just finished summer season with Billy Pearce, at the Grand in Blackpool.
Oh wow!
And what's the Grand, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, lovely theatre.
Yeah, Rock with Laughter.
Okay.
And Little and Large.
Lovely.
That's how I got to know Eddie and Sid.
Yes.
And Bill Wilson actually produced all of their series on television, Little and Large. And I can just remember on the last day of the summer season, we were all saying good luck to Billy because he was going on soon to be doing this new show on television, which was You've Got to Be Joking,
okay.
Which I didn't know then. But anyway, we all said goodbye and everything. And from that summer season, I went on and did the Little and Large show. I was with Sid and Eddie every week.
Adorable.
On the show for a couple of series.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fantastic to do as well. It was it all started because while we were actually in summer season, Bill Wilson was filming some of the the sketches, the outdoor sketches, while the boys were in summer season. So
yes,
there was one sketch. It's No Brief Encounters, the film with Celia Johnson and Trevor Howard.
Oh yeah.
They were doing that. They were actually going to, I think it was Carnforth Railway in Lancashire, where the actual film was recorded.
Oh,
with the old
wow.
steam engines and steam trains and all. And Eddie was going to be playing the Trevor Howard bit. And Sid was the porter, try pulling your eyelid down and blowing through your nose. That was the saying in that film. And they were looking for the Celia Johnson, and they asked me if I'd like to do it. So I played Celia Johnson in that sketch at the railway, which was, I think it was probably one of the nicest things I ever did, to be honest. Or I enjoyed so much because going back to where they actually did the film from, from the actual train station with the plaque on the wall and and having to speak that I'm not angry. I don't think I'm anything really. I'm just tired. That sort of old-fashioned speaking.
Wow,
and
lovely.
Just and we did a few little scenes from the film. The little bit where, as I say, Sid come up and Eddie's trying to get the bit of grit out of my eye, and try pulling your eyelids down, sort of thing. And then the very last scene of Eddie helping me into the train, and then they had the sounds of the steam train pulling out, and it wasn't moving. Eddie was standing on a trolley because he wasn't tall enough. Sid was pulling it away to make it look like the train.
That's genius.
Waving.
I bet that was funny in rehearsal.
And it was all filmed in black and white, and all the extras. Everyone was dressed in the clothes of that period, and I felt like I was one of those old-fashioned film stars,
Yeah, and this takes you back to when you said earlier that you wanted to be an actress, and so this is your moment.
Always.
thinking about being in that movie, you know. Wow.
Yeah, I know. I just absolutely loved doing that. And the manager, Val, was there, and she took loads of pictures. Later found out she didn't put any film in the camera, but never mind.
Oh, no.
We've got the video of it, but anyway, sorry, to cut a long story short, that was how I got to know Bill Wilson, and was on the Little and Large show. You know, God love him, so sad that we lost Eddie.
Bless Eddie.
Dear Eddie.
Yeah, nearly a year ago, bless him. And Sid, I'd done 6 weeks with Sid Little on a cruise ship when him and Eddie split up, and Sid is so adorable, such a lovely guy.
Smashing, man.
Yeah,
he
he
is.
came to
So
see me.
sweet, isn't he?
Yeah, he came to see my show in Blackpool 2 years ago, and it was just lovely catching up again. You know, he's a genuine, just a sweet. But you know, the history, the Little and Large show was massive, wasn't it? For about 10 years.
16 years or something.
16, yeah,
Maybe
it was.
even more.
Oh, it was huge. And Saturday nights, and it was just pure variety, and that it just must have been so much fun.
And how lucky was I to be on, just a couple of them. I was just so very grateful.
Yeah.
To know them both, and to to have worked with them. But and because Eddie was such a brilliant impressionist, so we used to do like a little mini music. I used to be in the sketch shows, and then we do a mini musical at the end. Something like I'd be Olivia Newton-John and he'd be Cliff Richard, or
Wow.
they were they were Lauren Hardy once, and I was Ruby Wax, and all different things at the end, and it was just.
Oh, it sounds so exciting. It really sounds like fun. Great fun to rehearse those sort of sketches, because they're funny when you do them. So you must have fun in rehearsals, getting to that point, you know.
Definitely.
Oh, wow.
And the different costumes and that. The Dolly Parton with the boobs walking along. I was opening doors before I even got there, just massive. And the sketch was I'd turn around and take a dancer out, in the middle of that.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It's sort of what I was saying about You've Got to Be Joking was the fact that I did the Little and Large thing, and being that it was Bill Wilson who was producing You've Got to Be Joking, that Billy was going off to do with Shane.
Right.
Bill Wilson then asked me if I'd like to be the fifth member in that, and I didn't know. Billy didn't know, because we knew he was going off to do this television, and it ran on BBC. Well, Little and Large stopped one Saturday, and You've Got to Be Joking started the next.
Oh,
on
wow.
BBC.
Nice transition for you. Yeah.
I remember walking in. Little and Large finished, and I went back on Monday morning, and I walked into rehearsal room, and Billy had his back to me. He was at a big tea urn, getting a cup of tea, and I tapped him and went, "All right, Bill." He went, "All right, chick. What are you doing here?" It's double take,
Oh, wow.
So that was smashing. It really was.
Eyes and teeth. They say this a lot in this business. They're saying it now. And then I think you see it when you're in the jungle these days. Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. They say, "I've made a friend for life." But when you do these TV shows or pantomimes or summer seasons, you do make friends for life, don't you? And you might not see them for 20 years, but when you catch up again, it's like you've never been away.
I know, it's like talking to you today, really. I don't think about these things, but talking with you, suddenly you think about it, and you don't realise how much you've got in your head that you've done, that you just, because you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Then talking to you, it's really nice,
It's nice to reminisce and talk about them.
Get to know Shane Ritchie as well, who was,
yeah,
great
character.
fun.
Yeah.
The whole lot of them, that was brilliant.
Yeah, and they're all multi-talented as well, aren't they? Not just acting and comedy and impressions. They do everything. Billy's that, Shane Ritchie's that, Bobby Davro as well. Now you did work on the Bobby Davro series.
Yeah, bless him.
I love Bobby.
Bobby.
And the Children's Royal Variety. Did you do one or a few of those?
I think I did a couple of those. Yeah,
they were great shows. I was quite sad when that ended, actually, because I really enjoyed. Because they did give you, didn't they? They give you something different to what the Royal Variety show did.
You did some Children's Royal, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh God!
No, I missed out on that. I was a child.
That's what's such a shame, Steve. I think, especially like when I'd done all the televisions, everything was great, and then the head of BBC changed. Just when we should have got a second series of You've Got to Be Joking.
Oh, no.
And they changed the formats, and I think they put something on El Dorado or something, a Spanish sitcom. Do you remember?
It wasn't supposed to be a sitcom, but it ended up being one, didn't it? It did.
Yeah, true.
Ended up that way, but I know exactly what you mean. So yeah, they were right to put El Dorado on because that lasted for how many weeks?
I know.
Oh, it's sad, yeah.
Because they changed everything. That's what I was thinking of you. It's just the fact that as it's gone on, so that, especially in television, like the openings are not there that should be there.
No.
You know, like you should have your own. You'd have your own series if you'd been like 10 years before. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon if I was probably 20 years younger, I may have had a little bit more.
You know that guy. You tell him as well. Your personality reminds me of Mr. Chips.
Catchphrase. Roy Walker.
No.
Oh, Stephen Mulhern.
No, Steve Mulhern. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chips.
I could see you doing all those sort of things. You know?
Oh, bless you. No, I worked with Stephen once. We done it was the audience with the Spice Girls, and me and Stephen, we both done the Big Talent Show in '97. Jonathan Ross hosted it, and Gary Bushell was the critic on it.
Oh, Gary Bushell, I like him.
Yeah, I love Gary. He's great.
Only because he said nice things about me.
Yes. Yeah, he ended up saying nice things about me. It didn't start off favourable, but we've made up since. But I think he's great at what he does. He's very funny in his critiques, and he's got a sense of humour with it. Yeah, so I done this TV show, and then me and Stephen Mulhern were taken from that TV show by Andy Peters, who was producing at the time, and he said, I'm producing an audience with the Spice Girls. Will you come and do the after show party? So I got to meet. Yeah, I got to meet Stephen on there, and we were working, in the dressing room, eating our sandwiches, and we had to go and do walkabout. He would do his close-up magic, and I walked around strangely with like a Jerry Halliwell puppet. All the Spice Girls were there with their families, all the audience with. It was a great night, but I didn't see Stephen Mulhern until 2013. So it was 97, and then 2000, like 26 years later, and then we'd done BGT together, which was. He was hosting.
Of course, he does that, doesn't he? I forgot that.
Yeah. So he interviewed me on his show on ITV2. But he is a great talent. Bless you for saying, but television.
Being yourself, though, it's got a natural way about that. That's what it's all about, I think.
I think it is charisma and things, isn't it? That's what you need for. He's got that. He's got his natural comedy ability, which is really nice. And he's so comfortable in front of a camera. I think that's where I differ. I think I'm quite nervous in front of a camera.
Do you?
Yes.
You don't seem to come across like that.
It's because I'm on radio now.
Do you find that? Because I think with me, when I was really nervous, if I was doing an impression, a talking impression,
yes,
whatever, I wasn't nervous anymore because it wasn't me anymore.
Ah, yes.
I guess when you're doing your ventriloquism, it's kind of not you, is it? You know what I mean? Is that?
Yeah, definitely hiding behind the characters.
Helps.
It's the same for actors, impressionists, ventriloquists. You hide behind that character. And I done auditions once. I remember doing an audition for a children's TV presenter. Funny you should say about the Mulhern thing, but I went to do this audition, and I took my puppet with me because I'm a ventriloquist. So I'm auditioning, hoping to present as a ventriloquist on children's BBC. And I remember the audition. I was working with a comedian, and Ricky J, his name was, and we were doing this sketch together. And they said, "Oh, can you leave the puppet over there and just go through these? Like, read this script." And we had to be pirates, sort of thing. And when I dropped the puppet, my nerves all came out. I started stumbling, and I couldn't do it without the puppet. And I've always had that as a comfort blanket. Do you know what I mean?
Like a crutch, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, the dummy's always that for me.
But you have when you think about it, that's what Val used to say to me. Look, you might be speaking as a Bette Midler and feel really strong, and you can handle anything when you're her or you whatever. Yes. But actually, it's you're giving her the words. It's actually you.
It's true, isn't it?
Which is the same for you.
Yeah, we have to hit that barrier, to go over that barrier. It's
I know.
It's a nerve
it's funny,
thing.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I was always shy as a kid, you see, so I never really spoke up in class. I knew the answers, and, I know that answer, but I never put my hand up. And then after someone else said my answer, I was gutted. So I kind of wish I spoke up more,
Not fair, kids.
Yeah, I'm like that now. Listening to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you know, I want to shout it out, but they won't hear me.
No. No, but I exactly know where you're coming from, because I was shy, and I think that's why I wanted to be an actress. You know?
Right? Yeah, that's interesting.
But if you go right back to those dodgy gigs that I was getting at the beginning as Maddi Cryer,
Yeah.
one on the Isle of Man springs to mind. I just had a feeling about this club. We pulled up outside, and it had I can remember, it had pictures, drawings of pigs all over the place.
So Peppa Pig's got in the way again.
Pigs, I'm not sure. But I do know that just before I went on, I could hear they were so drunk out. They were out their brains, and throwing things, and good Lord, at the stage. And I just thought, I'm going to die.
Wow.
And when it got to Bette Midler, early on, I'd bring someone up on. I used to bring someone up on stage, and I remember I would have been petrified, but being her, I got this guy, and do you know what he did? Well, I'm not going to swear. He broke wind, and then he belched into the mic.
Oh dear!
And of course, they're all laughing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I remember saying, "Okay, now you've let all your wind out. Can we begin?" And they all started laughing, and I had them from then on.
Oh, amazing!
And I went down the stool, but I would never have said that myself.
No, you went with it. Yeah. I'm the same, ad-libbing through my dummies, and they say things I wouldn't dare say to the audience members, and it's brilliant what we can get away with as a character, isn't it?
I know. Oh,
but
Lord.
people saw something in you. So whether it was your impressions, your personality, whatever, somebody saw something in you.
Who knows?
Well, I saw it. It's just pure. It's pure bliss watching you, and just you're a beautiful entertainer.
Oh, contributional.
You supported Bob Hope at the London Palladium. No one gets that job, but by not having that talent, So
lucky.
how did you get that spot?
I don't know how it fell about. I think it was just after You've Got to Be Joking, and then I was sort of a bit more of a name. I could have even gone in the jungle then.
Yeah.
Don't know who I am, but but I was just someone at the time, I suppose. Just lucky that I was having a lot of exposure at the time.
Yes.
And Joe Longthorne was in it. Fantastic Joe Longthorne.
Wow.
And me doing singing impressions, I think they thought it might be a nice balance, a woman doing some. And
Okay.
Joe, well, he opened the whole of the second half before Bob came on. And
Wow.
I think I was on the first half.
Okay.
But that's really basically how I got that. But
That's amazing. And Bob loved you, didn't he? You was on This Morning television with Bob. Were you talking about? And was it raising funds for the Bob Hope Theatre at that time? Is that what the show was?
That's right. Yeah, because he was born in Eltham.
Yes.
He was born over here,
Wow.
and he was trying to raise funds for the theatre. So I think so much of the ticket price from the Palladium all went back into that theatre, which was amazing.
Oh, incredible.
That he could do that. When you think he was such a big star,
Huge.
I probably remember him on television more than you, because he was in all those The Road to films, wasn't he?
Yeah,
The Road to Mandalay and Bing Crosby, and these people are like gods, aren't they?
I know.
They're legends.
Showbiz giants. Yeah.
Absolutely, but you would never think that when you met him. Do you know what I mean? He was just down to earth. The poor love was having a bit of trouble hearing,
Oh.
and he would say, "Well, what'd she say?" And I go, "Well, she said this, that, and the other." But he was a very, very nice man. Very, very nice and kind man.
Was he about 88 at the time? Was he about 88 when you done that, or was he a bit younger than that?
Yeah. I think it was 80.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
it was a bit. Yeah, you're probably older than that. You're right.
Right.
But it was a very good-looking grandson who wanted me to go jogging in Hyde Park with him.
Oh.
I was such a fool. I should have gone.
we all live in hope.
I had to be professional, didn't I? Stupid woman. But there's a story that true story that I used to tell in my act, that we were doing a press day at the Palladium. It was for Bob, Bob, I just happened to be asked to go. Obviously, I suppose I was the only girl on the show. And so I was with him at the press thing. But all the press and general public had all gathered at the stage door at the Palladium.
Wow.
And they wanted it at the front steps, and we were on our way down to the front to come out of the front steps of the Palladium. Of course, everyone was at the back, so they pushed us both back up the stairs and into this room and shut the door while they got everybody back round to the front and set it all up.
Okay.
And it was like a cleaning cupboard.
No.
Yeah. It had cleaning, mops and buckets and God knows what else in there. It was really dark, and there was this clanging sound. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay, kid. I guess you can tell everybody you were with Bob Hope when he kicked the bucket."
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Yeah, really sweet man. Really, really sweet.
Oh, very clever. And we got to meet because of Bob Hope, really, because the Bob Hope Theatre in Eltham, Paul Adams put this lovely comedy night on. Was it Voices of Variety or something, wasn't it? And
all about the voice, wasn't it?
All About the Voice, that was the title, yeah. And because we all use our voices for comedy, impressions and ventriloquism. And it was a lovely balance as well, wasn't it, Maddi? It was such a great night out. And we'd done 2 shows, didn't we? 2 shows in one night. And that was raising money for our bank accounts that night, wasn't it? So, do you remember that?
I can't do more of those, isn't it?
I know, a proper job.
Proper job?
Yeah. So I got to see you work, which was lovely. And you feature vocal tributes to the world divas from the 60s to today. Lulu, Duffy, Shania Twain, Julie Andrews, Etta James, Karen Carpenter, Adele.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, you do so much.
Those.
Oh, it's amazing.
I remember, and watching your show as well, and thinking, bloody hell, he's good. And
bless you.
And do you remember you were putting together a book, weren't you, or of people that you'd worked that you were going to publish?
It's going back that far, because I'm now editing that book, and it's literally so big. It's all about ventriloquists, and I must have told you about that time. It's about the people behind the dummies, really. So I'm really I want people to know about the great ventriloquists, the Arthur Worsleys, Ray Allens, Keith Harris, that are no longer here. But I've also interviewed ventriloquists all around the world in the last 2 or 3 years, from America, India, and Kuwait and Ireland. There's so many I didn't know about until I started research. But the art of ventriloquism is a passion for me. So I think I started to write it probably around that time, and I must have told you about it then. But yeah, it's still going on.
It stuck with me because I thought, you were interested in it. What struck me as well about you is that you had such a big passion for the business and for listening to people and what makes them tick, and other people, other people in the business, how they came about. And I thought that was smashing, actually.
Oh, bless you. I guess that's how this came about as well, this podcast. So because I love hearing about people's success and careers and why they love the business so much, and we do. It is about people at the end of the day, isn't it? We like to connect.
Of course it is.
And I think we've needed to connect.
One thing I regret about me is that I'm terrible for keeping in touch. I am. I think when I was first starting, I wouldn't keep in touch with people even though we were getting on really well and friends. I wouldn't keep in touch with them because I'd think, I hope they don't think I'm keeping in touch with them because I want a job, or do you know what I mean? I don't want to be pushy.
I think you feel guilty about them thinking that. Do you know what I mean? You don't want them to think
might just
bad
ring up
things.
to see how they are, but I think, well, no, I won't, in case they think I'm one of those people that rings up to see how they are and then says, "Have you got a job for them?"
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but that's not why I'm calling you. By the way, that's not. I was there.
You ain't got a job, have you?
I know that. I know this.
I'm very good with wood.
I know that I can make wood talk. Actually, that's
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, I know.
Down very well.
It is about connecting, isn't it? And when you go on the cruise ships, the cruise ships is a wonderful place for that, where you reunite with people you've not seen for years, and just entertaining. What do you love about the cruise industry? Because you've got the lighting, you've got the packed houses, you've got the crew working for you. So it's like your tour, really, isn't it, around the world, but a different theatre and a different room on a cruise ship. It is a wonderful thing. I know we miss it tremendously, but
oh God, yeah.
What do you love about those shows?
What I love about them, and I mean, it's like you're saying, that what I was saying before, is that there just aren't the venues to work on land like they used to be.
Yeah.
And the fact that, as you say, you get great lighting, you get a really nice stage, and it's and you know that it's not just like a room; it's like working a lovely theatre. Some of them are beautiful. Some of them.
They are
you
incredible.
Just imagine you were in like, a West End theatre or something.
I know, yeah, and there's standard as well.
Not the West End, but even sort of regional theatres, some beautiful theatres around, and you get spoiled. I mean. The only thing I don't like is you have to keep smiling at everybody all the time. You have face ache time you get off. Or give me a good rating.
Yeah. It's you are on the whole time, constantly. You go and eat your breakfast, and you expect to still look like that star the night before with the hair and the, and the suit and the dicky bow. But you're eating your breakfast like they are. We're all humans, but they get to see you really in your smalls. Do you know what I mean? Basically, you're sunbathing with them, and
I know, and you have to put makeup on every day.
Yeah, well, I don't. But, yeah.
Well, I don't know why I've done my hair and makeup to talk to you, because you can't see me. But I've done it.
It's a natural progression, I guess. That's. You look lovely.
Create a room in a minute. It's all done up, but there you go.
No, you do look like. Well, you sound lovely anyway. So I don't know what you look like. Your one-woman show anyway. It's at the end of the day, it's your passion, isn't it? And you put it into doing other things as well. And if you don't mind, we'll end on this. You've done this wonderful charity single with your friend Valerie Avon.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, why did you know about that then?
She research. So, can you tell us more about We'll All Watch The Wizard of Oz? It's a lovely song to raise funds for Chestnut House Children's Hospice, which I've done a few things for because I'm around Sussex as well. So I think mutually we've all kind of drawn attention to this wonderful charity. So tell us about this song.
Steve,
it's a lovely song. So I will plug the song and share it after this, but please tell us a little bit.
That's nice of you.
Tell us, oh, bless you. Tell us a little bit about that song.
Yeah, it's just say it's a song I co-wrote with. Well, she's a great songwriter, Valerie Avon. She's had lots of hits. She had hits with Cliff Richard and Tom Jones and the Shadows.
Wow.
She wrote "Long Live Love" for Olivia Newton-John when she represented Eurovision for Great Britain.
Wow, that was 1974, that. Blimey.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be the year that ABBA were in it? Talk about bad luck.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. But at least, people will be seeing it because they'll Google ABBA and to watch them, and then they'll see Olivia Newton-John do that as well. So bless.
Yeah, hopefully. It was at Brighton, the Brighton Dome.
Oh, was it?
The year previously.
Oh,
yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, which is just up the road, isn't it? Well, sort of for us, sort of in between us.
Yes, it is. So Valerie, she won an Ivor Novello Award as well. So she's incredible talent. So you two getting together to do this song was special.
It was special. Yeah, I mean, she's still writing. She's so cool. She's far more modern than I am. She's got these big synthesizers and all the equipment and your door thing and all that. I don't understand it. She's recording on computers anyways, but she's still writing, and she's in her 80s. And we wrote a song called "We'll All Watch The Wizard of Oz." It's only before lockdown we wrote it, actually, and it's kind of like it's a song that talks about the past and the fact no matter whatever we do, and the fact that we all get round and we all watch The Wizard of Oz and we all get together, even though things happen. And the Chestnut Hospice is it's a wonderful place. They do some wonderful work, and we thought it'd be nice to but I know somebody who works there said it would make a great charity single for them. So,
that's special.
You can get it on Amazon and iTunes and all that.
Brilliant. We'll get people to download.
The actual village of Ferring, a guy called Steve Eby.
Okay.
He got the locals to do their own version of it just for fun as well. And they recorded it, and we've got Robin Cousins, you know, the
yes.
skater, yeah. He's singing on it. There's another version going around YouTube, yeah. We've got Robin Cousins singing it, and they did their own little version of it. I'm singing on it, Val's singing on it, and we've got the saxophonist from Madness is playing on it, and someone from The Sweet. And it was just a lot of fun, you know, just the locals getting together, and he did it to try and raise awareness to get people to get the original single, you know.
Okay, brilliant.
The charity single, yeah. So it's sort of a folky, sort of like Pogues type song, really. It's hard, fairly hard hitting. It's not too mamby-pamby, but hopefully we'll get some money for the hospice.
Well, it's a beautiful sound, and it is ongoing. You can download this tune, can't you, and listen to it. It's such a beautiful listen. But lovely vocals.
Bless your heart.
And great lyrics. But Maddi, it's so lovely to catch up with you. Thank you so much for today. I appreciate it. It's just so nice.
Oh, that's all right.
Nice to hear a happy voice. And it's always lovely to hear things I didn't know about, or, you know, things I haven't written down. And then you bring stuff. We didn't even talk about Doctor Who. There's so much more I can talk about. But you've been in Doctor Who. You've done so many things. And so you have, you know, you are an actress. And so you've got to fulfill some dreams, which is lovely.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, at least being an actress, I can do it when I'm really old.
You just get to play different parts, don't you? And it's
yeah.
So again, type. Oh, that's lovely.
No, I mean, at least it's something you can continue doing, you know, into your old age. But hopefully, who knows what we've got around the corner. I hope that, you know, things go better and better and better for you too, because you just certainly deserve it.
Oh, thank you. Bless you. I've had such a lovely time talking to Maddi Cryer. Would you please give her a big round of applause, everybody? The lovely Maddi Cryer.
It's been smashing talking to you, Steve. Really has. Listen, take care of yourself, you and the family.
You too.
And hopefully we'll get together again soon.
Thank you, Maddi. Lots of love. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye, love. Bye.
Eyes and Teeth. Thanks to Maddi Cryer there. What a story. It's always a bonus when someone is incredibly sweet to talk to. It makes you feel at ease when you're chatting away. You can connect with Maddi on Facebook at Maddi Cryer. That's Maddi with an I. And you can find her on Twitter. Her Twitter handle is at Maddi_Cryer. Today's comedy quote comes from Bob Hope. If you haven't got any charity in your heart, you have the worst kind of heart trouble. Eyes and Teeth is written, produced and hosted by Steve Hewlett. Vocals provided by Lola, Larissa and Nina Hewlett. Additional vocals by Rich T. Eyes and Teeth music and jingles are produced and performed by Kevin Dean. Join me next time on Eyes and Teeth when I'll be catching up with a wonderful comedy actor, very funny man, Mr. Freddie Davis.